What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another Casually Chelsea show. Joao Felix is a here we go. Chelsea are under a huge injury crisis. And is Thuram staying or is he going? Who knows? We're here to talk about it. I'm accompanied by Ahmed, Real Chris, Scott, the Winter Surfer, and myself, Marshalldbdx. Make sure you're smashing the like button, hitting the bell notifications, subscribing if you're new. Check the comments down below. Let us know what you think about all the news coming out, and check out the description as well. But let's go ahead and just get things started, and let's start talking about the transfer window plans for Chelsea. So earlier this week, and we have a whole bunch of stuff to go over. We had a week's worth of news that have stocked up, so we're going to go over it today. Todd Boehly has stood down as interim sporting director and has handed the bulk of the transfer responsibility to new recruits Christopher Vivell and Paul Winstanley. So that's coming from Matt Law, who he's been a little quiet lately, but now he's back and reporting news as usual. Part of the transfer window plans, as I can tell from these tweets, is that we're going to be looking to buy a backup for Reece James, which it says here is one of the priorities for Chelsea first team, because now they see how much the team has collapsed with his absence. And then another tweet right here from Simon Phillips saying, futures are up in the air for a number of our current midfielders, and there are no guarantees yet that Mateo Kovacic will stay with his contract up in 2024. Another Simon Phillips tweet here. Midfielders, I am told, that have become high on the short list are Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Manu Kone, Martin Zambumendi, and Chelsea will try for Rice in the summer. He is now wanted by Real Madrid, which that's exactly the reaction that I had. That is cap. 100% cap. There's no way in fuck.
Bro, they had that section covered. What are they talking about, bro, man?
Yeah. So you have Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Mudryk, Cruz, Valverde? No, Valverde isn't the one that plays there. Who am I forgetting that plays in the midfield?
Valverde, he's a midfielder, centre midfielder. He
plays a lot. Valverde.
He's a centre midfielder.
So yeah, and you want to bring Rice into that mix? I don't know about that, but boys, what do you think about all this this more reassuring stuff from Matt Law and Simon Phillips? I know there's a little bit of biases between both these guys, but for the most part, it seems that they're reporting that we are going to be going for a right back and midfielder. Does that give you some relief considering, our situation with the Reece James stuff, and obviously Zachariah and Kovacic arguably being our only best and fit midfielders in the team at the moment?
I think it's good. In terms of the midfielders that are mentioned there, I'm taking everything, as you said, I'm taking everything that is mentioned by Simon Phillips and Matt Law with a huge pinch of salt, because these guys are the same as most, it's the same when it comes to most things. Unless it comes from Fabrizio or it comes from Ornstein, I do not listen, because more often than not, these guys don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. Case in point, the fact that in the same tweet we're looking at, we go from talking about 4 midfielders that we're interested in, which all are feasible, and then right at the end, he has to bring up that, we are still interested in Rice. Like we've been interested in Rice every year since he was born, or something of this rate, or since he's played professional football. Every year, and it's he's now wanted by Real Madrid. No, he's not. He's just not.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Real Madrid don't want him. Real Madrid don't need him. He's not wanted. In fact, he's not wanted by anyone. So,
fucking West Ham's neglected child. Fucking
Declan Rice. This is a replica of almost a carbon copy of the Zaha thing from a few years ago with Palace, where it got to the point where there was a few clubs interested who had tentative interest, but then they were 100 mil? No, you're good. And then it was no, but we'll accept 70 now. No, you're good. Oh, we'll accept anything now. No, you're good. Oh, I'll just sign a new contract then. I'll sleep on a free.
Wasn't it Moses? Isn't he from Brighton?
Yes.
Yeah, Moises Caicedo.
Has he played much this season? I don't.
Yeah.
I know he's a.
Yeah, he's a starter for them.
Is he?
He's the team replacement. Yeah, he starts for them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Caicedo.
Caicedo's a starter.
why can't we go back to our plan B, like McAllister, man? What happened to him?
Bro.
I mean, they're both. I mean,
They really fumbled Enzo Fernandez. You know, it's disgusting.
No, yeah, but like McAllister,
We'll talk
I thought
about
he's
that.
yeah. I thought he's our plan B. The other guy, I think he plays in the Spanish league. I don't know, I forgot. But I don't really know.
Maybe, yeah, that's
These
him.
are like scouting midfielders by the look. Like they're not really like high profiles at all.
Mano Kone is quite profile, man. He's wanted to buy
Mm.
quite a lot of clubs, including PSG
Yeah.
and others. So Kone is really good. I would argue get him in if you're unsure about Kovacic, bring in Kone because he would be a good.
Kone.
He would be a good box to box as well.
It's nice we're not looking at always big names. I will say, like, you know, like just get some unknown players and see what they can do. And see
you know what Kone would cost?
They won't be too high.
Kone would
Probably
only
not much.
cost you 30 million. Literally, he's 21 years old. He's
euros or pounds?
Euros.
God damn! Why aren't we trying to go for this guy? What the hell?
How much?
He's
you say, though?
like even Caicedo's price is like 80 million euros right now, or pounds even. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's getting expensive out there. Yeah.
Kone literally is worth 30 million euros. Like quite literally 30 million euros.
The thing is, though, Chris, like now you have to pay premium prices for midfielders. Almost every decent midfield out there is now 80 million.
This world's gone mad, Marshall, man. Like 80 million for Caicedo.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean,
80.
Inflation,
McAllister?
Mbappe, all types of things.
Same price. McAllister will be the same price, and he's got a
I've had
long-term
McAllister. I think he's
McAllister-
having a good season.
McAllister and Caicedo are
I
a bit
think
different.
what our needs are. I think our needs are bigger in getting a profile of the ones that are mentioned, unfortunately.
Mm.
Well, I say unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need these type of guys more, and the type of guys that are mentioned, bar Caicedo, are going to be cheap. I'm pretty sure Lavia's release clause, or the everything that's been reported on Lavia, is 50 mil. As Ahmed said, Kone is going to be like max maybe 40 mil in euros, like max, depending on how hardball Gladbach want to play. And Zubimendi as well. Like Sociedad are not notoriously, from what I can remember from the few deals I can remember off the top of my head, they're not notoriously like try and keep players and like going to play hardball. Like again, Zubimendi is a guy that you could get for a decent price. It's not going to break the bank trying to get him. In fact, you could get three of those guys. Like realistically speaking, you could probably get Kone. You get Kone, Zubimendi, and Lavia for around the same price that we were going to pay for Enzo, or that Enzo wanted for, I should say.
No, Kone for 40 million would be alright, I think. But 80 million for the Brighton player, I don't know. But yeah, like the three you just said, it's alright. I'll take that, yeah.
Also, right here, another quick tweet in reference to Lavia, actually. Simon Phillips reporting that contact with the agent of Romero Lavia remains open, and those conversations are about a potential move this month. Noise has increased on Lavia this week among his sources. So, listen,
among his sources,
yeah, his brown envelopes, So we'll see what's going to happen with this. I don't really know much about this particular midfielder. I know about Caicedo, obviously, because he's in the Prem. He would be probably my favorite if Chelsea are willing to pay the 80 million euros, which for a player like him, I think it would be worth it.
Brown envelope.
He's opened it up. I wonder what he's been paid to say in this
I thought you
today.
were trying to scan something on your screen, Andrew.
No, it's only a brown envelope if I don't believe the story.
I
do believe the
story. It's not a brown envelope, yeah?
You're giving Johnny ideas, man. Do it, like,
God damn it, Tune. I didn't even realize Jorginho's the one performing a tackle in here. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen with Lavia. The next thing, or Lavia and all these midfielders.
Lavia's got a Man City buyback option as well, remember?
Yes.
And you know, I'm pretty sure Man City are going to activate it the moment they see us trying to get him. So listen, man, it's over, bro.
It's not over, man. Jesus Christ, man.
I was going to
say,
I can't lie to you.
Crap, man.
I can't lie to you. I've become so pessimistic about Chelsea lately, so maybe just the pessimism is coming out. My bad, guys.
It's okay. I mean, we forgive you and all, but like, damn, man, cheer up. We're still a chance of winning.
He went off injured tonight as well. So
Lavia, yeah, that's what's
I'm thinking. 9 appearances he's only had in the league, and this is his 10th appearance.
That was his first game back as well. After he already.
Oh, great!
So,
he was rushed back just like Reese.
I prefer not to
Can we
speak.
check their injury records first before we buy them, please?
Yeah, let's
Yes,
do that.
please.
From now on,
I mean-
please. Don't
Yeah.
buy a bunch of injury-prone players.
I was literally saying that. Yeah, he's only had 9 appearances this season. 9 appearances so far.
I mean, let's face it. The only reason the Chelsea guys are interested in him because he smacked us up in a game.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just
Because he
listen,
dumped on us and scored in a game or something like that. So, no doubt, no doubt he's got the potential to be something. But I don't know, man. I think there's other options out there. Like you said, we didn't really fumble the Enzo thing because we were never going to pay the 120 million buyout clause. So, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Can I just say that the Jorginho hatred is so strong? They always cheat their genius, getting dunked on pages.
What do you mean, Jorginho hate? What's wrong there?
I mean,
Look
you
at
look at the
Jorginho,
picture.
It's not bad.
What?
That happens, you know. It happens to the best of us, man. We get outdone.
Jorginho getting dunked on, man.
Oh, so that's some sort of cheat
Anyway,
code, I see.
Yeah, it's cheat codes. Listen, it's a professional stream, man. It's professional technical difficulties. Okay?
Could have worse, you know.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about the next topic, which is our lovely little injury
I
crisis.
said injury,
Why
Chris,
not?
then, for a second.
Injury real Chris, why not?
No, I
Anyways.
just thought I said Chris.
injure real Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, please. PYS here reporting Matt Law's tweet. Chelsea's owner remained confident Graham Potter will turn the season around and believe the injuries are largely to blame for the bad run. Chelsea's owner are also confident they could outbid Arsenal for Mudryk, but want assurance he would want to join Chelsea. That's something we'll talk about later on in the show. More on the injuries here. Latest here. Graham Potter on the injuries. Pierre is fine. He will be in the squad. Christian Pulisic is out. Is a couple of months, we think. Raheem Sterling less. Hopefully less than that. Sucks to hear that. I believe also Reece James is working back on grass. I think Chilwell's also back on grass. Not sure what's happening with Fofana. Conte's still not really sure. So as far as I'm aware, Reece and Ben are back on grass. Sterling is out for a few weeks. Christian Pulisic out for as long as 2 months after that injury he sustained in the Premier League game against Man City. And then another tweet here from PYS is that Nazar Kinsella reporting a private physiotherapy firm used by celebrities has stepped up in place of a long-serving Chelsea medical staff, but they have yet to oversee injuries that have been unavoidable. Chelsea's players are understood to be concerned with the injuries. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, Bowley's the reasons we're getting all these injuries coming through and all this and that and that. We were getting injuries way before Bowley took over as well. We saw how...
If you talk about injuries, we've had injuries before, like Bowley, like 96 since last year in total, I think. So, under
Jesus
Bowman and
Christ.
Bowley. And yeah, I did see like whatever the report. Chelsea's had the most injuries in top 5 leagues.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Look
I
at Real
saw
Chris
that.
pulling out stats. Real Chris with real stats. That's insane. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and blame it on the Bowley team. I think some of these players are pretty damn fragile. This is a very physical league. We saw how someone had, Reece James got injured under Tuchel. Chilwell got injured under Tuchel. Chalobah got injured under Tuchel. The only really resilient players in our team is really like Thiago Silva, Jorginho, Mason Mount. Yeah, the ones you don't really want. So Havertz, even to a certain extent.
No, but to be honest, man, these days, man, he's not. He's looking like his adamantium arm is breaking down. So
He's not Wolverine, bro.
I just say like adamantium arm was breaking off.
He's like Tesco value Wolverine. Jesus Christ, man. We fucked up on that one. But yeah, with the injuries and stuff, I know people want to talk about Pulisic. Is this the final straw for people on Pulisic? Because to be fair to Pulisic, he did stay fit for a little over a year.
Yeah, but I think the reason for that is that he wasn't played as much.
Okay.
So, and what my little friend here, Mr. Brown Envelope, what is that?
Let's have it right.
Oh
Where's
no.
that? Where's that? Oh no! It's people want to keep Pulisic. He's not injury prone. It's okay. Mr. Brown Envelope said it's all good. We're going to sign him to a new deal. No. I think that has come to people. Well, he's not been injured for over a year. He's hardly played. Let's face it. He's played little substitutes, little appearances here and there. It was unfortunate, his injury. I knew it was going to be bad when they came out even the other day and they didn't put a number on the weeks. They just said weeks. That could be anything.
Fair enough.
A couple of months. Yeah, he'll be out for. It's the reason Joao Felix was alone. It's because of the injuries that we have up top. Sterling is having another scan on his hamstring because they don't know what the damage is with that. So that's why they've not even put a number on that. If you notice, there's no number of how long Sterling would be out for because they don't know the exact damage that he has done to his hamstring. So, yeah, it's good. I don't know how much Pulisic or Sterling will be missed, given how we don't do well in attack. So
We don't really have wingers though. That's the problem.
no, we don't have any wingers now.
It's gonna be 4-2-2-2 basically.
You
Essentially,
wouldn't classify anyone on there as the winger. That's why I think people are thinking that Felix is going to play wider instead of up top. He's going to play off of, unfortunately, Havertz. Or it should be off of Aubameyang. But
it should be off of Fofana. Like, I don't care. Put it straight away. Put this straight away. I don't care.
I wouldn't be
just
surprised.
Fofana.
I wouldn't be
I think
surprised
he's
if he
going to play a
says.
bit wider instead of be central. So, like he did in the World Cup.
Mm.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it is for me. I'm sort of on the way of saying get rid of Pulisic anyway, and I don't really care whether he balls out another club because he's not balling out of mine. So why do I care if he balls out elsewhere? So not any player. I don't think anyone should be afraid that a player's going to ball out anywhere if they're not balling out at your club. I don't see the point.
This is the problem too, right here, is that he finally starts. That's the thing. He can't be a starter because when he has a consistent run of games, he ends up getting injured. It happened last year, and honestly, he had a consistent run of games, and he gets injured.
Yeah, and he's out for a couple of
Also,
months.
like,
I bet you his book didn't see that coming.
also the thing is, like,
Added new chapters. That's what it is.
I'll say at least he's gonna have more time to write some more chapters now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with this as well, and the thing for me with the injuries is the last two big injuries he's had have both been impact injuries, and it's like, number one, before we couldn't trust you to go through a game without pulling something. Now we can't go through a game without trusting that every time you get slide tackled and someone knocks into your knee or your ankle or your calf or your hip or your head or your elbow, that you might break something or be out for 2 months. Like, how do I know that you're not next going to go up for it? Like, you're literally going to like go up for a header, shoulder barge someone, and dislocate your shoulder? Like, you might, because like I don't know what it is with his body. Like, the last injury he had, the big one, was the ankle one when it was on international duty. Again, impact injury, like out for months. This one, impact injury, in what was a pretty innocuous challenge. I would not exactly say it was a leg breaking, challenge or anything. Pretty innocuous challenge, and just like out for 2 months because something's wrong with his knee. Like, and the problem is Pulisic does not strike me as the type of guy who can adapt his game at his current age or level to stop the impact injuries a way that Hazard was able to, because he had the low center of gravity and he had the mass in certain areas to negate some of those injuries, and even they caught up on him, as we're seeing now. Right?
Yeah.
I was similarly to Andrew. I was already on the way of like, I'm done with him anyway, just because there's so many things that I just he's not my type of player, not my type of person. Most of where I was at with him was I'm happy to play him, but we need to move on from him eventually. Now I'm just like, cool. Now you got the perfect excuse. Come the summer, just get rid of him. Like, just get rid of most of these guys come the summer. I know you can't, but
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way that Scott feels. He had some good games. The bar is really low, but out of our wingers, he was kind of performing well he was performing pretty okay on the left when we have Sterling on the right. And it looked like something better than Havertz or Mount, but now I think with the injury, it's back to square one. All right, like after this injury, how many times is it going to happen again? We can't even play you. You complain about being a substitute, but when we play you, follow a consistent amount of games, you get hurt. Like he's just not reliable. Whether he stays or go, I'm not going to cry either way. But I'm leaning more towards the side of like, I think it's time for him to move on, find another club, maybe a less aggressive league where I don't know, less
Can't go to the French
physicality
one, that's for
involved.
sure.
Not a bad idea. No joke. Like if
Oh.
he was to go to like the Italian league, maybe, or if he was to go back to the Bundesliga, maybe, like it might do him a world of good. Like he might do really well there because, like as Keyshawn has mentioned, it might just be the physicality of the league. You can't handle the fact that people are going to get into you. Like, it might just be a case if it doesn't fit. The bit is not good.
Which kind of leads me to the next thing I do want to discuss, which is the big old transfer that everyone is talking about. Let's talk about our boy Joao Felix. Why not? Let's have a chit chat about this one. Let me go ahead and get this on the screen. This happened really quick. So big sequence of events that I want to read out to you guys. Starting off with Duncan Castle breaking. This was on the 9th. Chelsea offered to meet Atletico Madrid's terms on the Joao Felix loan. Then we move on to the next tweet. Atletico Madrid will extend Joao Felix's contract until 2027 before closing the loan to Chelsea. As reported by Marca, it's to reduce the annual amortization. Sure. Apparently, also, Joao Felix didn't hesitate to sign the contract. I think I might have a tweet on that, but I'm not entirely sure. So that right there kind of tells me that there might be some kind of putting Felix's faith and price on Chelsea in hopes that maybe it'll skyrocket his value, especially with the new contract. Ornstein reporting Chelsea reach verbal agreement to sign Joao Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid, fee of 11 million euros. Man United and Arsenal keen on 23-year-old Keen. So 23-year-old had choice and CFC project appealed. More reinforcements to follow this month. I doubt that the project appealed to him, but okay. Chelsea are now. What?
A 6-month project appealed to him.
Yeah, of course.
Generational.
Chelsea, Fabrizio Romano reporting Chelsea are now expected to close in on the Joao Felix deal in 24 to 48 hours. Final details of agreement with Atletico Madrid are being finalized. All parties ready to prepare documents and get the full package around 11 million salary paid by Chelsea. 4 tweets right here. The here we go tweet. Joao Felix to Chelsea. Full verbal agreement reached. Loan move of 11 million euro fee with 100% salary covered by Chelsea. Before leaving, Joao Felix will extend his contract with Atleti until 2027. Confirmed now. Joao will fly to London in the next hours to undergo medical tests and sign. And according to sources, my brown envelopes, he'll be ready to play tomorrow's game. Source had just told me Joao Felix was very quick to sign the contract extension at Atletico Madrid without any negotiations at all, and he was doing this because he wanted to push through the move to Chelsea, reported by Simon Phillips. And then I believe this is the last tweet I have here. Chelsea now have a very good relationship with Atletico, so even though it could be expensive, there will be no problem if Chelsea wants to buy Felix after the loan. This move doesn't affect Nkunku. That's a done deal. So all that being said, that was a lot. You guys probably already know how I feel about the Joao Felix thing. I mean, we need players now, considering the injury crisis that's undergoing Chelsea at the moment. But also, I just think either one or two things is going to happen. He's going to play. He's gonna kick the ground running. We're going to give him 3 great games, and then he's going to start to decline very similarly to Raheem Sterling, unless we get, the better midfielders, another right back replacement for Reece James, or I shouldn't say another, but a right back replacement for Reece James. I just think it's going to go the same way the Sterling transfer went. 3 good games, and then it's going to be down to shitter again. Or he gets injured, and then it's just vacation to London pretty much at that point. The fee, look, I don't really care. It seems to me that this club and these owners don't give a crap about spending money willy-nilly. So if they want to spend that much, good for them. If anything, the way I see it, if they're willing to spend that much and no other club is willing to spend it, maybe it strengthens the relationships between them and Atletico for future transfers. Who knows? What do you guys think?
Well, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. The brown envelope told me what I've got here. It was going to happen
Is
way
this your new
before
bit?
it was reported. Okay, I'm just saying.
I missed
Still right
something. Is
now,
this your new bit now?
He says that it was happening before 48 hours even before it's reported. That I should believe in everything that they say, and Joao Felix will be a star, and we'll sign him for 48 million in the summer. I don't know. Seriously, Marshall, brighten up, man. Jesus Christ Almighty. You know, good Lord. Yeah, brighten up, man.
I don't think, like, look, we have you complain about Kai Havertz relentlessly. This guy is just gonna do the same thing if we play him in the same
He's better than
positions.
Havertz. That's the thing. He's definitely better than Havertz. It depends on what your expectations
Yeah,
are.
probably.
He's
Yeah.
he's not going to come in and change the football club. Like, he's not going to come in and be the Eden Hazard of the team and be the savior. He's not, because like very few people are.
But Scott, I will say this though. Though we complain about Havertz's physicality constantly on this show in the Chelsea Twitter space,
the reason we complain about Havertz is
physically.
the reason we complain about Havertz's physicality is because if Joao Felix can do, like, if he can actually be quote unquote silky on the ball and he can actually beat players on the dribble and like his first touch isn't arse and certain things like that, like if he can pick up the ball and beat a man straight away with like a skill move or a dribble and like pick up nice spaces, if his physicality is lacking a little bit, I don't care. The problem with Havertz is he doesn't. We complain about his physicality because the only option he's got is to hold the ball up because his first touch is arse and like he can't beat a man on a dribble. So it means that like he gets closed down way too easily. So he has to then use the physicality to hold the ball up or do something, which he can't do. So like that's the thing. He's definitely better than Havertz. That's the thing. He's 100% better than Havertz. It's just about what your expectations are for him, as I said. I'm happy that we signed him. As Andrew said earlier, it's literally just because of the injuries, but I'm happy we've got him. I think it works for everyone because one thing that people like haven't talked about that much, or like reportedly, is Simeone won't be their manager come next season.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay a lot.
Or a couple of reports.
Yeah.
He is going to leave at the end of the season.
They're gonna have to pay
resign.
a big fee. They're going to give a big fee for him unless he resigns here. Then they're gonna.
Oh no, I think it's a case. I don't think it's a case of sacking. From all reports, it's he's going to step down as manager. Which, if that's the case, you've got €100 million asset who you clearly have a lot of faith in that can work in your team depending on the next manager you get. So it makes it makes so much sense for them to want to sign him to a new contract and not want to get rid of him for cheap. They're going to want a big fee if they sell him. Because it makes sense. So I think this works for all. It works for everyone. It works for us because even if he does well, then just sign him. Because I guarantee no one's complaining about the fee. Like, say he does really well, he changes the team, he gets loads of goals and like changes our form. No one's going to give a shit if we spend 60, 70 mil on him, because like you hope that he's going to carry on the same form, or you expect he's going to carry on the same form. So like, it's fine.
Even if we don't sign him, we got Nkuku arriving in the summer, so we're not as if we're put out.
There's potential
we don't search for another forward or something. There's
potential we might still be signing Thuram, so that's another forward who can play right or left.
Exactly.
Like, there are other players out there. Like, say if he doesn't work, we send him back. Say he does work, but we can't get him. We're getting Nkunku. We've got maybe Thuram. We've got like the other guys coming through, you know, for Fana or whoever else. It's like, it's fine.
Lukaku coming back.
Oh joy!
There's only one thing I worry, like, because he's got a big injury record. Like, I'm just worried that he comes in and he just gets injured after like 5 games, and he's like, we're paying his wage as well, and he comes in and we have another injury and we still have no attackers. That's the only concern I have with it. But I think he's definitely improvement for like a lot of attackers. Like, I think he's better than most of them. Probably better than Ziyech, probably better than Kai Havertz. I wouldn't put it past that one as well. He's having an okay season. I think this season he's done pretty well for the minutes he's played. So yeah, yeah.
It's not time to hang yourself, Andrew. Yet, not yet.
What?
No, no. So, you know, just
Do I need to send you a back scratcher?
oh, if you got one.
Oh, yeah,
Just
you got one,
send
haven't
the
you?
camera
He does
on.
have
Send
one.
the camera on for Lewis.
Yeah, I was
So I'm
about
just
to send
resting,
it.
I'm just collecting all the brown envelope information. What's that? Alex wants to speak next. Go ahead, Alex. Brown envelope.
Yeah,
says
Alex,
you
what
can
you got to say, mate?
What you got to say about Felix, brother?
Jesus Christ.
He has a good hairline.
speak. Very good hairline.
Oh,
Bazinga.
what we're saying, yeah, the best strikers have good hairlines, yeah? So it's in Mudryk in his hairline.
He did
That's a
have a
fave,
good,
man.
decent hairline. He
Yeah.
became bald, but when he played for us, he had a decent hairline.
Exactly.
I guess you were still swimming in the daddy's balls at the time, so you didn't know about it. But
What are you talking about? I was watching him.
but yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Look, it's up to him, right?
Yep.
It's
True.
up to him. So I'm happy he's here. Like, it's if we had somebody that we had to pay money to buy it on a permanent, it would be risky getting Felix.
Yeah.
But the circumstances we got him, I don't really give a crap about his loan fee or whatever fee, because that's the problem with Chelsea. We are so deep in injury, so I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care. I literally don't. For me, I just want to see how we're doing down the road tomorrow. That's all the thing I'm thinking about.
That's the thing, actually. On the loan fee, that's the bit I don't get about people moaning. It's like, what would you prefer then? Not go and sign someone, or go and
Yeah.
spend 20 million on a guy like Alex said, where you buy him permanently, and if it doesn't work out, you're fucked because you're stuck with him. At least with this, you can send him back. If it doesn't
Yeah.
work, he's not here come the summer. Like, so what that you spent 11 million on him? Like, who cares? Of all the things to worry about, like, who
That's not
cares?
the one. Exactly. With all the things to worry about, that's not the one we should be worrying about.
Yeah, because
Seriously.
you could legitimately say, right, that we still need midfielders, right? But at the moment, when I still think we should get one this month at least. But at least you've got Zakaria and Chukwuemeka
Exactly.
stepping up, right? So because of the injuries in that and right back, obviously, but because of the injuries that just happened, I remember Brohart's out injured as well. So that's 3 attackers that's out injured.
And that's an ACL, isn't it? So he's
That's
out.
an ACL, right? So but
Yeah, he's
now
out till next season.
They're out. Now the attack actually becomes up there now with importance of what we needed, and it's better. Like Alex said, it's better spending on spending for 50-60 million on a forward that might not work out. Yeah, this because of a panic, but then just spend 11 million.
You see,
whatever,
this
and
is
cover
what
wages
have been.
for them.
This is what would have been happen if this is what happened before. Like, for example, first of all, if Scott, as much as I appreciate the compliment, there's no way we can find nobody for 20 mil to buy it. There's no such a thing. It's a good winger for 20 mil. Or go. You see what I'm saying? There's like who? I mean, somebody out of different league that I've never heard of.
No, like you could get someone like, for example, I'm pretty sure Thuram is reported to be worth like 10 or 15 million, for example.
Okay.
And he's just an example.
Yeah.
But again, like I made the point is like, if it doesn't work, like you're taking a risk either way. At least with this, you take a risk, and if it doesn't work, at the end of the day, you're not having to then. He doesn't become part of the deadwood. You have to shift. He just leaves. Whereas say you get Thuram, or you get someone from I don't know a league that. Like, or you just go and sign someone, for example.
Mudryk.
What?
Yeah, you go and sign
Mudryk, right?
Like 60 million.
88
Yeah,
million.
60, 80 million, whatever it is, and he doesn't work. Cool, he's now part of the deadwood that you got somehow got to try and make money back on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. First of all, who think the January window it's like a summer window? It's not. January window, it's to fix the holes that you emergency. That's emergency things. Injuries. That's what we have. Injuries, we signed the thing. Unless we're going for the Enzo, the guy that actually needs to be fixed, and that's the only chance we can get. That loan thing for good hairline guy is literally, it's literally Kovacic smells like Kovacic, like I don't know what. This is how Felix, for me, it smells like. If he kicks out running, there's no way the price is gonna be a problem with Atleti. Because first of all, us and Atleti, excellent. We washed their laundry before money for the. We used to be money laundry for them, or they used to be money laundry for us. Literally, this has happened. How did we pay 50 for Morata? No clue.
Yeah.
Hey, people believe in Bitcoin. Like people believe in fairy tales. So what I'm saying is like, we sold them Morata for 50. We got Diego Costa for from them. And give him a good price on Costa,
twice as much. Yeah.
And we sold him.
And we got what's his name on loan for them from midfielder for a season who was shit. Saul, and we paid this FIFA.
Yeah.
We really do have a good relationship with Athletic.
Yeah,
Courtois,
exactly.
On a side note,
Why would not say? Hold on a second. Why would not say that one of those players could be involved in signing for Atleti next summer, like Ziyech, like Pulisic, like Ziyech will fit in that thing. With those legs, with those passes to the counter-attacking team, he will fit right in.
I can see that.
Plus, let's Scott put out. Simeone is apparently leaving, right? It's not confirmed yet, but the reports are out there. We have no idea who they're going to go after next, right? Joao Felix is not going to commit to something because he doesn't really like playing for Simeone. He's going to wait and see who the manager is. Then he's going to go. I would like to think if he pulls out that we set up something before he leaves again. And we set up some type of like verbal agreement with Atletico Madrid. Here's what we're going to pay if he wants to move. Yeah. Although they might just say no, we want a bidding war, which could happen as well, right? But at least, like I said before, at least we're not out there with our dicks in the wind because we've got Nkunku on the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and
Felix will be a bonus.
There will be no conversation with us trying to, even if it's going to be a bidding war.
Yeah.
What happened to the bidding war with Rafinha? He chose the club.
Exactly.
Why would Felix will not choose the club that he actually succeeded? If he succeeded,
if he has a good
the goat. You're not a goat. You're a sheep. Nobody's rated Felix until he first kicked for Chelsea. Nobody's rating him.
Someone brought this up, and I just want to say, because I didn't realize this until it got brought up on Twitter, and as someone else brought it up in the chat as well. I literally don't want United fans talking to me about this. Felix, still, you man spent 12 million on a 6-month, or 18-month Igalo loan. Like, you man spent more for Igalo than we have for Felix. Please don't chat to me.
I mean,
and
off topic.
you just bought a fidget. What's that? Fidget? What's that?
Fidget spinner.
You just bought fidget guy for 80 mil, man. What the fuck?
Whitehorse, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. I don't know who the fidget.
No, we're talking about Anthony.
Oh,
yeah. Remember Ngala from Watford?
Arsenal can't afford to pay for him because they're going to pay an astronomical fee for Mudryk. So,
and
you know
did you hear what what's his name? Metla said. There's not even a sniff of Chelsea even want Mudryk.
Yeah. I think we're doing that to.
He's like Vale actually surprised that we actually like how much in the press was Chelsea with Mudryk when we didn't even sniffed about it.
I'm starting to believe that we just screwed around to get the price up to make Arsenal pay for.
Exactly. They used us for Arsenal to pay.
Yeah. But
and
we did that whole charade, that meeting.
And Shakhtar, what's his name? Shakhtar's owner.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
that's pretty petty.
Shakhtar owner or director, whatever, said, if Anthony's cost that much money,
yeah,
you're gonna pay for Mudryk that much money.
It's kind
Let
of
him have
good. He barely plays in the Ukraine league.
Yeah. No,
He only played in Ukraine for 30 league matches.
Yeah, he's played 29 games. 29 games he's played. And he's like, let's be honest, right? He's 23? Is it 23?
Is he 23? I thought he's younger than that.
22, 23?
Oh,
but who else is interested in?
Nobody.
No one.
I don't hear anyone else interested in Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich.
Hmm.
Not even like they're going to. Oh, but they were put off by the price. No one, not even like linked to him. I've heard Arsenal, us, Everton, and Brentford.
He's 22 years old.
22 years old, right? You'd have thought we would have heard something about him before now. Do you know what I mean?
If he's that much, yeah.
Yeah, if he's that much, if he's that good. But
It's like, Kai Havertz bought him 75 million. Like, the whole world knew who he was, at least. And he is a flop, of course. But, like, this guy, no one knows. And there's definitely a high risk, I reckon, he can be a flop because he barely plays in that Ukraine league. Yeah, but people say he does well in the Champions League. But for how many games?
If he flops, he flops. But I don't know where he gets in that Arsenal team. So he'll be on the bench.
Yeah, because they're all doing really well, like Martinelli and all that.
And he only plays on the left. So he's not going to replace Martinelli unless Martinelli's
Holy crap, I just Googled him. He's from my mom's region of Ukraine.
Oh, really?
Better be nice to him.
Probably no.
I did not know, man. He's from Poltava.
But back to us.
Any good footballers back then?
No,
he's a lot younger. He's 20. Fuck.
But back to Chelsea, I just
22.
don't see why anyone hasn't. My thing about the negative reaction to the Joao Felix acquisition is not that they don't want the player. It's the fact that apparently we're not doing it in the order that so people want a midfielder and right
Yeah,
back
that's
first.
true.
You know what I mean? If we got a midfielder and a right back first, this loan would be we'd hear better things about it. But because it's coming first, oh yeah, but we should have got this and that.
Absurd.
Actually, now if I think about it, for the past couple of days, I've been thinking about it, the transfer window. As much as I want midfielder, I more want the right back than midfielder.
Yes, yeah, because of the Zachariah and for me because Zachariah and Chukwuemeka.
Zachariah kicking,
yeah, exactly. You're right though. Desperate need. Come February 1st, if I don't see a right back, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, I'm going to be absolutely pissed.
100% agree with that.
I'll be slightly.
Anybody see Lavia today? God,
he got injured again, though, Alex.
I know those injuries are starting to scare me, though.
9 games. He's only played 9 games this season.
Shit.
9 games.
This one, which is his 10th appearance.
Good.
Yeah.
He's young, though. He's young. Those injuries. He's young, though. If he will get the proper whatever, what's the name, rest and proper recovery, those because he's young, he can actually he can overcome those injuries. But the way he plays, he doesn't protect his body either. I watched him again. He just goes into
That's youth.
Youth, yes. He's not smart going into those.
Chelsea have got a decision to make. Do they pay for him, knowing that he's got these injury issues? Because we've done it a couple of times now, right? And then try and work it out. Or do they take a gamble?
I don't think Chelsea should trust the medical staff based on the history recently.
I was about to say that too. I think Chelsea, another option there is Chelsea need to figure out what's going on with that medical staff because 10 players out in the season right now.
Those
crazy.
doctors, man, smells like Nigerian prince emails, like university. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a risk though. There's a risk though that if we don't go for him and he works out his injury problems and plays better, the price goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
I tell you what, the price can
back.
go up was now because the guy is so.
Or Man City reactivate their buyback clause or something.
What's
like
the
that.
price right now though?
50 million.
50 million?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't think if City wants him back, I will go for Phillips from City.
That's actually not a bad idea.
He's just coming off injuries as well.
I know, but they get rid of
they're not using him.
Lavia just to get the Phillips. I don't think they want him after one season back. I don't think he's kind of Pep player though. He's not a Pep player.
No, he's not. The only type of player, and this I'm not comparing him whatsoever. He's got slight attributes of like Yaya Toure when he was playing at Barcelona.
Exactly.
But obviously, he's not. I don't know. I don't think he'll ever reach that level. I'm
Yeah.
saying that I'm not seeing a type of player like that for Pep since then. Not even at Bayern Munich. I don't think there was a type of player like that. So.
Yeah.
Because he went. Remember, he went for Xabi Alonso.
Tell me about it,
Bayern
Sammy.
Munich.
So I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Andrew. I think the fan base we said this yesterday, but we'll reiterate it. We need to wait to see what the window looks like before we start jumping to like, oh, we're not signing the right back and the whole order or how we sign this and that. Listen, I don't care what order you sign all these players in, as long as we get that right back. And as an added bonus, because I agree with you guys, I think this season's a wash as it is. I think we could survive the rest of the season with a Zachariah and a Chukwuemeka and a Kovacic and Conte when he comes back. We'll see how it goes.
In March.
But in March, which 2 months away, but not 2 months away. Freaking my brain farted there. But let's go on to the next topic. I do thank you, Ahmed, for bringing this up. This is brand new Potter comments that just came out. Let's see what he he said some things that the Athletic reported here. I want to go ahead and discuss it. Let's talk about what he said here. So, Athletic tweeting out here, Graham Potter has described coaching Chelsea as probably the hardest job in football as he tries to salvage the club's season and reassure angry supporters. So, quotes right here. I think it's probably the hardest job in football because of that leadership chain and the expectation. Because rightly where people see Chelsea. Okay. Graham Potter also revealed that he met with a group of Chelsea senior players at Cobham on Tuesday, and in order to get the perspective on the team's current struggles. Which, why didn't you do this earlier? But okay. I spoke really at length yesterday with Thiago, Aspie, Georgie, Kova. We had a really good conversation. They were honest, articulated their concerns well. They articulated their positivity. They articulated their responsibility. And I think we are in place where we can move forward now. I mean,
Why Aubameyang is not there?
Oh,
he's going back to Barca, man.
Well, he was happy in the training ground today. He was like laughing and everything with Joao Felix.
Aubameyang was laughing when he was being ousted by freaking Arsenal. He was always laughing. He's always smiling. That guy doesn't know. He's just like Conte. He doesn't know how to not be upset. He's always gonna look happy.
He can show how he's
my
upset.
God.
What are you
Apparently, so according to Matt Law, this is also breaking. Chelsea players hold save our season meeting with Graham Potter. So it was the players that held that meeting with Graham Potter, apparently, not him.
Oh, wow.
Let me see the link quickly. I can't.
Yeah, go for it. I'll pull that up. But that's, I don't know how. This is Matt Law reporting it.
Though. You know, where he said it's the biggest challenge he's ever had. He's only like managed Brighton. There's no expectation with. If you remember what Conte said, he was like stressed.
No, and that's where you need to read the under bit, because it says, with the sides in terrible form, manager Graham Potter spoke with senior players head. So it's not the players held it. Graham Potter spoke with the players.
Well,
that's why you got to read the whole thing and not the headline there.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I just said that was literally what it said first, innit? First thing that came up for me.
They met with each other. It's not a whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to create drama in the Chelsea team.
Yeah, man.
So
do you guys think
he spoke with Aspilicueta, Jorginho, Thiago, and Kovacic as a group ahead of the Thursday night's game? Yeah, they were invited to share their thoughts on what has been going wrong and what needs to change to stop. So it's actually Potter that done it. So that's what I mean. You got to, like, and I'm not saying you are, you got to, the headline.
I didn't read the article and I don't have the.
And you know what? It's not even probably based on the actual person who wrote the article, because sometimes they write the article and someone else puts a headline on it. So it's like, that's what I mean. People just read that being, oh my God, the players are having to do this by themselves. Potter's not doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
do you guys think that the manner in which this was, the timing in which this happened, do you think it's appropriate? Like, should this have been done sooner, or do you think right now it was probably the big wake-up call that they needed to have this meeting and discussion?
Should have happened after. It probably should have happened just before after the World Cup, we started the second half of the season essentially. That's when it should have really happened, if you're being honest. Because, remember, just before the World Cup ended, we already were on a 3-game losing streak, if I'm not mistaken, then. So, it really should have been happening then, to be honest. But obviously, we had the World Cup break. But when they came back from the World Cup, this should have been a conversation that we had.
Do you have any faith that it's going to change anything? Because I'll be honest.
I
I
can't
don't
lie
think.
to you. Fulham is going to cook us. Paulinho is going to do his job.
There's
Willian.
no Mitrovic, eh?
Listen, doesn't matter. But bro, people are going to hate me for saying this. I'm telling you, Willian tomorrow is going to get an assist.
You reckon? I
I
think he's only got one.
I would
I
be
think
willing.
he's only got one assist in the Premier League this season.
I would be willing to even put money on it, bro. That's how good. That's how sure I am.
Dang.
I don't think anything like that will happen. I don't think it'll be a good game. Probably a draw. Maybe scrape.
Definitely
it
not going to
1-0,
be a good
2-1.
game.
No, maybe scrape it 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Maybe it won't be a good game. Mitrovic is out, so that's their crossing game done.
I think we'd struggled at that. That's why they kept crossing it in.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we'll go scrape it, but it's gonna be a suffering game. If we lose tomorrow, God have mercy on our season. I don't know where we're gonna be.
Oh, the season's fucked anyway. To be honest,
I know
Fucked,
it's fucked
Yeah.
anyway. Yes, I know, but just losing again after 4-0, you got what was it, 1 win in 10 Potter's had or whatever. He needs some wins to get in there, because if he keeps getting worse and worse and worse and just keep losing or drawing, I don't know if the owner sticks with him, because we're down to 10th, aren't we? Keep going down further and further. It's getting closer to relegation. So
As soon as you hit that, listen, I'll tell you right now. As soon as you hit a point mark this season, either or, where it's fine, the owners won't care for this season.
yeah,
So we've already heard. They want to get top 4, but his job's not dependent on it.
no,
So
yeah, I know, not top 4.
It's like you give someone an ultimatum, but you tell them it doesn't matter anyway. So,
What do you think happens
I
if
think unless something really dramatically happens, he's going to stay for the rest of the season. They're going to give him the summer and the start of next season. If we're talking in a year's time, we're like this, he won't be here.
nope.
I just don't think he'll
Probably
be here.
not.
No, because the level of investment. He won't be.
I feel though, if we do get a win, and even somehow a convincing win tomorrow, then we go to Crystal Palace next, and then you know what, we can maybe get a result there, and then we're basically playing a Liverpool team what's not that great either. They're a bit better than us. They're a better shit compared to us, but you never know. So it could be a good run. It could be an absolutely awful run. We can go win, loss, draw, or draw, loss, or something like that. So I think this result will be dependent, how our run will go now, to Liverpool.
I think it's just
I wouldn't be worrying about Liverpool right now.
I don't think
Who's
then. I just think if long as if we stay where we are, mid-table or something like that, his job's not affected by it.
Yeah, that's the key. He has to stay mid-table, because if he drops anything closer to relegation, then we can start talking about potentially emergency interim type of manager where he needs to get us, because there's no way Bowley's going to let the team go into relegation. I don't see it happening. There's no way we can be that bad. But also, if that were to happen, that's the only case where I can see him getting sacked. It has to be as bad as
And I don't think he goes that far.
Apparently, there's no way. There's actual conversation that Bowley, not even if he can get fired, not only if he's gonna get into the relegation zone. There is a big conversation of finishing the top 4 before they got him throughout the season, and it's not coming from Bowley. It's coming from that Ekbali guy.
Yeah, they said get top 4, but your job's not dependent on it. So that's what they told.
But
it just wouldn't make sense to sack him, because if you sack him, for now, it would look just terrible for the club. No manager want to come in.
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying if within a month or 2 results are not improving gradually, I wouldn't pass it by.
I think if the results are mixed, he stays. If we're talking about where it's loss after loss after loss, that's when I can see his job being under.
Definitely,
serious.
if we lose couple of like 3-4 games in a row specifically, and we get knocked out easily out of Championship League.
Yeah.
I mean, easily get slammed 3-4 nil each game,
Yeah.
and lose 2-3 games in a row in the league. Not a chance. That killer behind Bowley will click.
Yeah, this has to be an extreme amount. But if we're talking about a couple of wins, couple of draws, a loss, then all that again, then I don't like. And like,
plus depends on the table, but
and then say if we beat Dortmund and get knocked out the quarterfinals, and we just like trudge along to like finishing 8th or 9th or something like that, they won't.
They've got you Conference League.
I don't want Conference League at all.
No.
I just don't want Europe. No Europe.
I don't want Europe.
Unless it's Champions League, I don't want Europe.
Yeah.
Even Champions League, 50-50 on.
Even Champions League might be a bit of a push because it's like you're still rebuilding. So
it's more of a case of I've said this before, but it's more of a case of I just don't want to give these players any excuse to not perform in the league. Like, I want them to show that they can perform consistently in the league when the pressure is on them all the time. Like, I don't want them to be able to have these games in the Champions League. Like, they're going to get the games in the Cup, obviously, because you can't not be in those. But I don't want these games in Europe where they can turn up, there's no pressure, and they can just win them. Like, because that just defeats the purpose, and they can use those as get out of jail free cards, and I don't want that. Show me you can perform in the league on a consistent basis, then we can talk about, going into Europe, winning that, or like the Europa League, or, performing to a decent level in the Champions League. Because then you've shown me at that point that, you can perform in the league on a consistent basis, so I have nothing to worry about.
I think the thing is that my thing would be if we get knocked out of the Champions League and the league form is patchy, but it's like comfortable, we're not going to be in a relegation fight or something like that, then I would appeal to Potter to say, just play the new people and the youngsters now for the rest of the season, because it's only once a week now. Do you know what I mean?
Why I'm
find your first 11. What
about Potter is I'm actually glad he's playing the way or the formation that he wants to play, and because what we're seeing now is these guys are just getting exposed. Like, it looks bad, but I think that's a good thing in terms of we get to see now that if this is what he wants to play, I'm fine with that. Go and get players that are going to work in the way you want to play. Play this way so you can see who gets exposed the most. Because it was saying certain players are getting exposed more than others. Certain players are holding their own the best they can. Like I think Kukurea, for example, is holding his own the best he can. I'm not saying he's been amazing, but he looks like he can hold his own playing this way. Another one like Zakaria as another one. Kovacic, maybe. These are guys that look like they can maybe hold their own playing this way. Other players, whether that be Mount, Jorginho, Havertz, these guys can't hold their own. They look like they're struggling. They look out their depth playing this way. Cool. Bye. Off you go, because you ain't going to work in this system.
I just want to pick a couple of people in the chat. I just want to reiterate something. My standards for the club are as high as they've ever been, okay? But I have to put realism onto these players, okay? As a collective, I think percentage-wise, most of us agree that most of these players we don't like or we don't think are good enough, right, for this club. I can't then expect them as they are right now and how they've been performing for the past, let's say, since the Real Madrid second leg game, to be fair, after that, how they've been performing in the league, to expect them to amount a challenge to get into the top 4, okay? It's just not happening. So I believe in this is that I am willing to suffer if I can see light at the end of the tunnel. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you have to get through your brain right now. This is not the time when Chelsea could have an off season and then win whatever the next season. There's too many teams now to do that. Look at Liverpool. The last 5 years in the league, outstanding nearly. Okay.
Look at Newcastle now, Andrew.
That's what I'm saying. Newcastle,
I would say
Spurs,
I would say when it comes to like the team, I think people need to have two sets of standards. Because I agree with Andrew. My standards for the club as a whole have not dropped and will never drop. But my standards for this team and where it is right now in the gutter, like the standards for this club, it's got to the point where we praise players for having a 7 out of 10 game where they're not amazing, they're not outstanding, they just do the basics and they look good. That was Lewis Hall's performance against, was it City in the Cup?
Yeah.
That first performance he had.
Carabao.
Where it wasn't amazing. It was a 7 out of 10. It was not amazing, but he did the basics right, and he looked good and looked like he wanted to take players on. That's what we've got to. That's the standard where we're praising that, because we don't see that for anyone else.
I'm slightly opposite. The only reason I'm giving Potter a select this time, like right now, it's because of the injuries.
Okay.
If we did not have 10 injuries from the first team players, there's no way in hell I'm gonna give him slack for not finished top 4. Conte, what's his name? Rhys James, Chilwell, Kova. Those players, there's no way they are 10 position when we fully fit.
But I don't
That's
think
it.
they're.
I
don't
mean,
think
as
they're
much.
I don't think they're a top 4 side either.
I think the challenge
Tuchel
is
struggled.
I think
Tuchel struggled because everyone else
He
wasn't
did.
up to par, to be honest.
Are we not forgetting?
we had
People
injury
these
crisis
guys-
last
Yeah.
season.
At the
I
end
say
of last
people forget,
season,
if it wasn't
these
for Gareth
guys-
Bale, we don't finish top 4.
Yeah.
And also, we keep forgetting last season, these players gave up. They gave up a double-digit lead over Arsenal and Spurs while they were in third place, and only got it confirmed the second to last game of the season. In the league, these players have been trash. Yeah. In the last 3 seasons, they've been crap. Okay. And the problem is now you've got on an improving Arsenal. Whatever you say about Conte, the football's turgid, but he's getting results sometimes. Okay.
And his players.
You got Newcastle. You got Newcastle firing up. You got a proper manager now at Manchester United in Ten Hag. Yeah. That's about adding Man City. I mean, look, I keep saying Liverpool are 6. Liverpool are out of it as well at the moment. So it's not as easy as it was the last few seasons for us, where it's only been like 2 teams really ahead of us and the rest weren't that good. So we have to face facts. This squad is just not built. It doesn't like league football for some reason.
I mean, it was never built that way to begin with. When you look at it, it's always been papering the cracks from the get-go for the last 5 years. We always put a Band-Aid on it. Get this player, get this player, get this player, sack this manager. The idea goes out the window. We start another idea, sack the manager. The idea goes in the window. And we're still left with all this construction that was never fucking finished, and we never can even build a house with it. So it's just, this is what happens. It's just disorganization. And now that we have a structure in the team, a director of football, hopefully coming soon, technical director in Vivel, and all this, maybe now we can get some type of structure. Maybe now we can get the right
Sorry,
players.
Marshall, but I'm just saying that the choice would have been different if all the players were not injured. Even for Para to choose starting 11 would be different.
Oh yeah, it
Why
plays a
would
huge
you?
factor.
Why would you think that we played the same? Well, like, look, I understand some players. I don't give a shit being there, but some players still do. And if you add those players, I don't think Conte was ever been a player that doesn't give a crap. The only problem with Conte, he couldn't do what he could do because of the physical injuries. That's the only thing. He's not stopping.
Yeah.
Remember that. But add to him player like what's his name? The guy with the square haircut on his head. What's his name?
Budget Shield?
No. Midfielder.
And
What do you mean?
Zakaria.
Zakaria. He square things the way he has the haircuts.
Okay.
Zakaria.
Yes.
Just think of it. I don't think Kova being a player then doesn't give a crap. Kova performs. Kova is not that kind of player that he gives up. You see what I'm saying? I understand that some players that do, but I don't think they are.
Right.
So for me, if the injuries were not, if injuries were not there, Para could have a decent 11, but he never had a choice.
You know the problem with the players you just said? Yeah. They're great at their job. One thing they're not great at is scoring goals and adding assists and attacking. Yeah? They're not. They're just not. Even you admit, Alex, Kovacic is one of his weakest part of his games is his final pass or final ball, right? It is weak, right? At most times. He had that flurry at the start of last season. Remember, he had like 5 assists or something like that. That's the problem. They're great at doing their role, right? And you're right. Maybe I no doubt we'd be further up the table with if our injuries weren't like that, and we'd leave the creation to the wing backs or whatever, or right, left, fullback. You and I both know. I don't trust these attackers to finish their dinner, let alone any opportunity. Right? They just you have a better accuracy at finishing your dinner right now than these bums up front. Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, let's face it. Right? I wouldn't trust these guys. I mean, I'm begging for Havertz to shoot the ball like he did against Salzburg. You know what I mean? I just want it. I know. See, that's what disappoints me more. I know this motherfucker can do that now, and he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it for us. Do you know what I mean? We've got Aubameyang who makes the runs, but he's not seen. Like Timo Werner made the runs and not seen. Whether Timo Werner finishes is another thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got.
But Zakaria sees now. Zakaria sees those passes.
But Zakaria sees, but he's also doing another job as well. Remember, he's like helping.
Well, if you have a Kante, you play Kante, Kova, and Zakaria.
But we can't. But the thing is, Kante, as we know, doesn't really play 5 games in a row. Still get injured.
Yeah.
Kovacic is like that as well, and he's got a knee problem. Although I don't know what he's still playing. But then you've got the rest on the likes of Ziyech, who we know is a bum. Pulisic, who unfortunately is now injured again. Sterling, who's not settled. And who else? A Mount. And then you've got his variant Gallagher. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we're not free scoring side.
Bro, we do it. And the thing, Alex, is and Mount and Gallagher are technically meant to be the guys that are meant to be given the final ball.
Yeah.
Zakaria isn't really meant to. Zakaria is not really known to be assisting goals. He's just meant to be the DM. Well, a box to box defensively. So
Back to back defensively.
Like he's more defensive in the sense that he's not really there to be an assister or pre-assister.
Assister? He's not assister, but
assister,
even he said,
not a assister. Okay.
Even he said he's better at the end of the higher up the field.
The end product, yeah.
But to hold you in contempt, where is the player like Blunt Mount supposed to be starting in this Chelsea? Nowhere near.
Called you out, man.
Blunt Mount is not a starter. He was never meant to be a starter. He was meant to be having some kind of type of time in the game of Chelsea.
Yeah,
that's the plan for him.
Yeah,
the fact that we started him tells you how bad our injuries are.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? He's supposed to be coming 20 minutes there, 10 minutes there, start as a League Cup. That's what he's supposed to be. So when he starts and when he plays, don't blame young guy for that. You can rate him, you can don't. I agree. He's not everybody's cup of tea. The problem is he didn't supposed to be. He's supposed to be a young player that sees the light sometimes maybe once in 3 months on the pitch. That's it. But the problem is the injuries. And that's the reason. And if one guy is over here, the sheep is kind of annoying me with that Manchester United crap. You have no better players than us, you wank. You do not have a better player than us. I tell you why. You have a better manager, not the players. So shut your mouth.
So, I mean, I just want
to answer Alex, not this Alex, our Alex. Alex in the chat. Why does Mount have more expectations than?
Because he had those expectations.
It's because of the fan base. You put him up on a pedestal, and you expect him to reach whatever grab the gold coin or whatever. When he doesn't do it, he can't do it, right? That's why I get on Mount because of the way he performs, but I know he's not going to reach a certain level. I don't put expectations on his shoulders like that. You're going to come back at me and go 29 GNA, fine, and that was great. I'm glad he scored those goals because others didn't. But let's be realistic. This season, he has been trash. Yeah, he has been trash.
I'm coming.
He had a good 3 or 4 games.
I'm coming for you, sheep. Hold on a second. Let Andrew
Andrew, you missed what I said in the stream yesterday when it was me, Ollie, and Marshall. You know how I feel about, or if you've listened to this Lewis's stream from a couple of days ago, I'm now on this thing of I've been on this thing of you can't really single out single players, right? Most of the time it is a group thing. But if you want to go down the route of looking at a singular player in this Chelsea team and looking at who affects this Chelsea team the most in a negative way, Mount, I would argue is number one. Because if you look when we've played as a team without him and with him, you've got literally go back and look at the last 2 games we played against the same team, one with him in the team and one without him in the team. And we play considerably better without him in the team than with him. You can make a case that he is arguably, it's between, I said this in the thing, the top spot is between him, Azpilicueta and Jorginho. One of those 3, you can argue, that's the top 3, you can argue which order. Those 3 affect this team the most in a negative way. And yet we're meant to believe that he puts us on a pedestal. Like he's to be put on a pedestal where I see people today, or yesterday, tweeting about his Champions League campaign, and it's the best Champions League campaign ever by an English player.
Yeah.
That's the level of what he gets put on. He gets spoken about like that. Like he is on the level of some of the let's forget other players across the world. Talk about English players. He gets spoken about as though he deserves to be in the same conversations as the likes of Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Rooney, Gascoigne, all of these guys, and he's not nowhere close, never will be close. Because those guys are some of the best English players that have ever played the game. He won't ever get there. I'm sorry. He'll get better than what he is now. He could get to a good level. He'll never be their level. I'm sorry. He will never be their level.
I know. Before let Alex
those expectations on him.
Before I let Alex go onto the
Yeah.
I just want to say this, and I'll leave this because I don't want to do a mount thing. It's been done. I will just say this without mentioning off the ball stuff to the people in the chat. What does he excel at? Just tell me that. You can't mention off the ball stuff. You can't mention running or anything like that, or off the ball movement. On the ball, what is he known for? When you think of Mount, you go, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? Just like that. Go on, Alex. You want to go on the go? Pause.
Your thing, Alex.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm just here for the sheep in the chat saying Rashford is the better than all of our forward line. First of all, when he finished feeding all the kids in England, you can come and start talking to me. Until then, you the frauds of Manchester. You the ones. Because last season, all of you said that he's a fraud. He needs to be sold. Manchester United needs to sell him.
That is very true.
All of you crack addicts. Even I was Chelsea this season. And I said, if Rashford is available, I wanted him at Chelsea. Remember that?
I do
when
remember.
You all laughed at me.
So
I
crazy
agree
for
Rashford is good. But the reason why Rashford is good is because of your manager. Until then, hold that man sheep, man. Get a haircut.
So, when we were talking about the injuries things, one thing I do want to add as well is that as a result of all this putting a Band-Aid on it, we've neglected to buy backups or buy players that are going to develop and take the place of a Jorginho, a Kovacic, a Conte, for example. So I think that's a failure on the past regime and not having organization, which is what started this whole thing. Let's go on. By the way, everyone.
Sorry to interrupt. We've done what I've never wanted us to do. We've done an Arsenal where we did not replace our legends and our spine. We did not replace them with quality. So we've allowed it to rot. And we're now seeing
Andrew. We've been becoming Arsenal for so long. Go and look at the comparisons of where Arsenal were a few years ago under Wenger, where it's every young player that came through their academy, this guy's the next big thing. This guy's this guy's going straight to the top. Every single player, whether it was Wilshere, whether it was this man or that man or this nobody or that nobody.
Danny Welbeck at one point.
No, do you remember Scott? Do you remember Scott? You might not, but you might be too young to remember this. But every time the League Cup came around, it was Arsenal used to play their kids going, he's the next one to step up. He's the next one to do this. Hardly any of them have, and it was Fabregas. It was like John Terry Frost, the only one to come through the academy, but we surrounded him with better players. Fabregas was really the only one who stepped up.
This is the thing, like ever since the Lampard season, we've fully turned into Arsenal from a few years
Oh
ago.
my
It's like,
God.
It really,
Yeah.
I've said this.
It really did start then.
Scott,
I
I've said
type in
this
every
already.
single youth player. Like there are so many things that we've started to like about Arsenal from like a few years ago under Wenger. Like the real, like I wouldn't say bad times for them, but like the times I'm talking about where it's like there are so many things we've started to do as Chelsea fans that they did. And
I'm
it's like,
so annoyed. I'm so annoyed.
And the funny
so
part
annoyed
is, Scott, that it's what Chelsea fans wanted.
Yeah.
That's what Chelsea fans wanted. We have such a good what's the
Cobham's
name?
greatest.
Cobham grads.
Cobham,
Like, why
yeah.
we're not using them every time? Because we have those bums in the first team, and the guys that on loan are better than what we have. Remember those conversations?
Yeah.
What's his name? Crystal Palace centre back.
Gerhy.
I was
Gerhy.
Gerhy.
That's number
Our
one.
loans,
No one's talking
our
about it now.
loans this season, by the way. You want to talk about loans? Our loans this season are tragic. I went and looked at them just for like a bit of fun the other day. God Almighty, they're bad.
What
There's-
is it called?
We've got like 15 players or something on loan, and I swear like 5 of them at best are doing well.
The other thing
That's
that
what I'm
horrible.
saying. Chelsea
I'm just-
fans wanted. They
I'm just
wanted
pissed
this Cobham graduates to fit to get into the club.
You know what
My
makes it-
dog is literally what Rashford's doing for Manchester United, man.
You mentioned the youth, and your dog started having a seizure in the background, man.
No, he get it.
Do
He
you
wants
know
to
what
be,
makes me mad
he
about
wants
that
to scratch
season?
scratchy.
What makes me mad about
He's
that
got a
season?
haircut, so he's happy.
What
Charlie,
makes me mad? What makes me mad about that season is because we got the
Yeah.
we got the ban overturned. So that means to me that we should have hired a proper manager during that summer and just told him to wait till January.
who's a wanker? Who's a wanker,
Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Man United is a wanker. Who's a wanker? Who's a wanker?
Oh my goodness. That's great.
Yeah, this is what Rashford does.
Yes. Love to see it. Love to see it. By the way, nearly 70 of you watching. There's only 27
Come on, my
likes.
dog
What's going
doesn't
on?
use
It's
tricks
free.
for free.
Hey,
You
leave
see,
There
the
you go.
begging for
Smash
those.
the likes for the
Hey,
damn
I thought you had
puppy.
to pay the like.
in the chat. Leave the comments on, unless it's one of the isms. Leave the comments on. Okay, that's all. It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. We're not an echo
You
chamber.
see, you see, look
Yeah.
at
Not
that
an
chip.
echo
Scholes
chamber
was
in.
clear of Lampard.
I can't lie. I think that Scholes was better than Lampard as well.
No,
Not
no,
clear.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Technically, I
saying
would
like,
say,
look at
but-
him. Like he thinks he thinks he's gonna bite.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell Rashford to go feed some London kids. Maybe you one of those.
Hey, I will say this. I will say you think your player's better? Fine. I just know I had the privilege of watching Frank Lampard for 12 years, so
Exactly.
I'm all good. I'm all good, thank you.
You probably be in the sperm and there is balls and finding Nemo.
Oh
That's such a big. That's just not even the same species. Not even the same species.
My mind is a wonder, man.
Not
My
even
mind
the
is a
same
wonder.
ecosystem, man. One's in the sea.
My mind is a wonder, man. My
Go
mind
on,
is a
Marshall.
wonder.
All right, boys. We were pretty. That was a hefty topic. Ahmed, thanks for bringing it up. It started with Graham Potter. We went into all that. Let's talk about Aubameyang. Why not? Let's touch on this. This guy's probably. This guy's probably not staying at the club anymore. So right here, we have Gerard. You guys remember this guy, Gerard Romero?
Oh.
Yeah, world famous. Anyways, in the last few hours, Barcelona have consulted La Liga about salary allowance for Aubameyang to return if Memphis or Kessie leave. Things are happening. Oh my god! I do not
Nothing
miss
is
this guy.
happening.
Hold on. Fabrizio Romano, Aubameyang can't play for any other club than Barcelona and Chelsea due to FIFA rules. 100% confirmed. Been told Barca would love the idea to bring Alba back, but only if it's 100% free transfer, different salary terms, and only if Memphis Depay leaves. Atleti want him.
The only thing is free
Can't
is
lie.
Pornhub.
I can't lie. I don't think he leaves this January. I think he's gone in the summer though. I think he's gone in the summer.
Probably. I didn't expect him to really stay past this season, to be honest. I thought
Can you
maybe give
imagine
him a year.
Aubameyang, Felix, and the Chuckle
Google?
brothers?
Oh, what?
Oh my god.
That's the recipe for hell. Is what that is.
No,
Yeah.
watch Felix in Chuckle Brothers top 3 tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
The Chuckle Brothers and Felix.
Yeah.
Front three.
That's no joke. That could happen.
That's no joke. That's
no
actually
joke.
what's gonna be lineup for
Don't everyone
tomorrow.
scoff at that. That will, if it's not starting, we will see that during the game. Because I don't know if Felix starts. So, do you know what I mean?
I reckon he might do, but can you imagine, by the way, if you want to go one step further, a 4-2-3-1 with the front four being Mount in the 10, Felix on the left, Havertz up front, and Ziyech on the right.
Oh my God! All occupying the same
there
space.
was a
And Zachary and one
boy.
Mount and a pivot.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh my god!
someone posted someone posted something in one of the group chats I'm in of Felix in training today, and it was him running after the ball, but no one passed it to him. I said, "You're going to get used to that, boy." You know what I mean? He was like looking for the ball. He's waiting for he did a 1-2. He's waiting for the 2 back. It just never happened.
He's waiting for that link up, yeah.
You guys think that with this deal with Aubameyang, we could get maybe a swap for Depay or Kessie? Because to be frank, I mean,
I tell you what,
Andrew, you know this about me. I do like Kessie a lot.
I was going to say a swap with
take
Kessié. I'm down. 100%. I'm down.
100%.
No. Depay, no. Depay, no.
Yeah, Depay. No.
Okay, on Depay.
He is.
I don't
I'm
know
still
who
waiting for him.
Kessie is.
I'm still waiting for
Frank
him.
Kessie from Milan.
Yeah.
The Ivorian.
He played for Milan last season.
I'm still waiting
Yeah,
for
I'll take him.
Depay to do something, and he's 30. Still waiting for him to do something. So Depay is one of the most overrated, inflated football profiles in the last 10 years. He is honestly average.
He's
He's got bars though.
He's the Havertz before Havertz, man. That's what I'm telling you, bro.
He got what? He got what?
Bars.
What bars?
He
He can rhyme.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! You got.
Well,
come
him
on.
and Lukaku
Come on,
can
Alex.
go rap
true.
with what's his name? Jay-Z in MLS.
Yo,
There you
Havertz
go.
and I just
Yeah,
know
Flaphead Stormzy.
Havertz and Depay in the same team. would be
Belgium
disgusting.
Stormzy.
I just say no one came back to me with what Mount is good at in the chat. I just want to
No.
It's good at running.
He's good at holding ball, Andrew.
Good at running.
Sure.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good
Yeah,
assistant, man.
that's all he's
He
good.
makes
He's good at
Champions
running.
League final assistant. It makes Champions
No,
League final
he has a pass in him. He has holding.
Not this
half
season.
turn. Not this season, but we're not based one player based on one season.
I
Are
would
we?
say this. I would say the best thing about him, he's got a good half turn.
He does. He's got the Johan
Look.
Cruyff
The
turn.
problem is, Alex,
Look.
Alex, you'll notice the problem is after he does the half turn, you have a
He
run
tries to
into
do
trouble.
another one,
Yeah, but you have a
and
run
all
into
of a sudden
trouble,
becomes the full turn, and that's not his
Yeah.
good.
or he runs into trouble.
He realizes
or he gives away the ball, or he gives away the ball. That's the problem. It's like when players get bigged up for doing a nutmeg, but then they lose the ball afterwards. It's like that. It's like, what's the point? That's the only good thing really I can say he's got the half turn.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Well,
Johan
he
now,
has a
he's
shot on
Jordan
him,
now.
not consistent, but he has a shot on him. He has a pass on him. He has what's the name?
He doesn't-
Half turned. He has resistance a little bit. He has a physicality. He has defensive awareness. The biggest problem for me with Mount, the biggest problem is his discipline on the field. That's the problem with him. When he loses his head, sometimes it gets in his way, and he makes the silly mistakes that
It's the
not
same
necessary. I don't think. Look, we can say he's not performing this season, but I'm not gonna go and say that he's a bum, complete bum, for the past 2-3 years. Look, if you will remove, what's his name, Johnny, out of conversation, and those kind of Mount fans and Ahmed's hairline, if you will remove those,
Oh my!
That was so unnecessary, but I'm here for it.
Take that.
there's been plenty of look. It's not only Mount is the reason Mount looks bad. There we go. Let it loose.
Relax, man.
If you think Mount is a glue guy, you're sniffing glue. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Mount is not a glue.
You should just be a squad player. That's all.
I don't look. Just give the guy a proper like the reason why he's even shit an 8 because the last 10 what's the name 3 seasons he hadn't played in as an 8.
Yes, I agree.
You see what I'm saying? Just give him the guy. Look, best thing for Mount to be put him on a bench, let him sit, and then play him in as an 8. He doesn't perform, put him again on a bench, but play him in the same position and let him show that he can do something.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced we need to sell him. I tell you the truth. I'm not convinced we need to sell him.
If he doesn't
He's
sign,
not the
if he doesn't
problem.
sign you, sign your contract this summer, then you're gonna have to sell him. You're gonna have to sell him.
I don't think he's the problem at the Chelsea level. What we need to replace.
I agree with Alex on how to approach Mason Mount, but there's a thing, and I started thinking about this because unfortunately Mason Mount lives in my head rent free. I'm starting to think that when our midfielders are fit. Last season, the season before, we had a better team than the current team we have now. I think those papered over the flaws that are in Mason Mount's game. And now that we don't have the Conte, now that we don't have a Ballon d'Or George or a Kovacic who is fully fit.
I'm sorry, is that a windy in Ahmed's house? Because that hair looks like he looked at a window where...
No, I've got a metal thing in there. I had too long.
What I'm saying is that I'm starting to think that now because those players aren't there to cover up for Mason Mount, I think we're starting to see how Mason Mount's quality really is. I don't know if you want to add to that, Scott.
Why is your hairstyle like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, man? What is
That's what I was thinking about. Oh, poor Ahmed.
All I was going to say.
You dickhead.
All I was going to say is the thing for me with Mount, and the reason why I would sell him is not necessarily like I don't think he's good, and I don't rate him at all. But it's not necessarily that. It's because for like most of his Chelsea career, maybe all of his Chelsea career, this split in the fan base and this fanatical like cult that he seems to have is going to be.
He's a Tarzan, you know, from the.
This is my click it out properly. That's why.
And it just needs to die. And I think the only way it dies is with him being sold.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I agree, Scott. I agree, Scott. Oh my days, Ahmed, I appreciate you. I just wanted to mention, all right.
I just think, I'm gonna add the only thing I think of Mount is he's just not a start level for Chelsea. I think that's a fair thing to say. He's just not a starter for Chelsea. He's bench at best. But right now, if you want to use him as a starter, I can get it. But if you want like a starting 11, proper starting 11, Mount is not in a proper starting 11. I think that's the best way to put it.
I mean, I still think like it's time for me. The only way you can get rid of Mount if you replace the whole squad.
No,
you don't want to replace the whole squad in one transfer window. Mount is not the first thing you go for.
No, Alex, I can agree. I can agree with you on that. But the problem, I just think in future with Chelsea, you can't have this guy as your main number 8, if that makes sense. If you're trying to build like a Premier League winning side, for example.
I just want players like.
I just don't understand why he was one of the main players that played when we were first in the league in December last season.
Under Tuchel.
Even then, like.
We were carried by defense and scoring.
Yeah. We always are.
I know. What I'm saying is, look, judge the player when he has like everybody knows that offensive line was shit, and he was part of it, and that's my problem. Put him where he's supposed to be playing.
Yeah, and don't put him up front. Don't put him as one of the front three.
Exactly. Either that or put him on the bench. Either 8 or put him on the bench.
I don't even care about injuries. If you're using him as an option up front, then I'm sorry, we are down one man essentially. The way we play, put him in the middle where he should play, and let's see what he can do on a regular basis. Stop trying to put him in any position in this team because you think he's going to ball out or do something. Put him as an 8. If he doesn't play as an 8, put him on the bench. If he doesn't do well, put him on the bench. Stop putting him in a front 3 or as a 10. He can't do. He's not that. He has not got the
He's
talent.
not that versatile and
Not that
creative
versatile.
up
He
top
doesn't have the
as
intelligence.
people think he is.
He doesn't have the intelligence to play as a 10. He doesn't have the natural instinct to play as a 10 because he either has his head down and he doesn't see where the ball's going, or when he's got his head up, he divers and takes too much time.
I don't think the kid has a talent as a midfielder. I think the kid was properly coached to become a good midfielder.
Yes.
He's not a
Sorry,
talent
Derby.
like what I'm saying. Like he's not like genius. It doesn't get to him easy. Those things don't get to him easy. He practices them a lot. That's how he became the player that he is. Not because he can actually do it. For example, Ronaldo and Messi, the biggest thing is Messi has more talent. Ronaldo has more what's the name? Mental thing, like how you say it. He trained for themselves, like how you said. He doesn't have like talent. He training made him the way he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, to be easy, you know those people kids in school sometimes. Some of them it's hard for them to do at school. Some of them just like not even trying. They just like heard something, like they sit in the classroom, don't make the notes, nothing, and they excellent. Some of them pretty much write the whole thing, notebooks, every page, and they study until 2 a.m. and they struggle, but they working for that degree. Some of them don't. This is how I've seen Mount. Mount is not the one like Fabregas that opens his eyes and he sees the midfield. He's not that player. He works on it.
I implore people to see how Mount played at Derby, right? When he was in the centre, he was in the midfield. Yeah? That's how you play Mason Mount when he was at Derby. Yeah?
Forget that. Go and look how he was at
Vitesse and Derby, that's how you play Mason Mount. That's how you play. That's his best position. That's his best football. Yeah? When you try and put too much on his plate, he's not going to reach the levels you think he's going to reach. He just won't.
The reason Tuchel play Mount up top not because he's good at top with the ball when we're attacking. It's because he actually good at pressing when Tuchel was there.
Yes.
With this manager, we don't press. So there is no reason for him to be there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because
and even when we
Tuchel game was counter press, make a mistake in that an offensive zone. That's how we get the ball, by making the mistake. And that's how Lampard, what's his name? Mount played really well on the first season under Tuchel. Remember the Norwich game, the first game of the season, took the ball away from the defender and scored immediately. I think it was one of the first games in the season. That's how Mount is good in offensive, because he can counter press the teams and make them make mistake. He does intelligent in that area. If you remember what you asked about what Mount is good at pressing, really good at pressing.
But when you overload, when you ask him to do more and overload his mind,
exactly,
that's what I mean.
He
doesn't
simple. Have a flair. He doesn't have a flair of the midfielder. Does it make sense? Like flair is the right word in English? Like, especially in that kind of midfielder. I think he's good and have space between midfield, deep midfield, and carry the ball into the final third.
He's not a game changer. Do you know what I mean? He's not a game changer.
You shouldn't be if you're not there.
That's what I mean. He's not.
That's what Daniel actually told me, and I totally agree about Mount with what Daniel said. He's like, if you, I want to see Mount in a position or in the team when he's not the face of the team, when he's the regular guy, and you have a stars in front of him. That's when that's when Mount I think is gonna be the best. So he's like, I think if he will go, for example, to the team like Liverpool, but before, not now, when he was Mane there and Salah there, to Newcastle now with those forwards, he will not be the big Chelsea. What I said that we screw him up technically, because we made those kids a face of the Chelsea, which they shouldn't be, and they ages they are. And that's the problem what I see in Mount. Let him be a guy, regular guy, star boy. Let him call him be a star boy. But the problem is, if he will have somebody literally stars in front of him,
Yeah.
he could be a deadly guy. He could be a deadly guy.
It's like
And
you remember the
under
Liverpool
scenes, or how you say
midfielder
it?
of remember Liverpool 18-19 midfielder? It was Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum. He's an either Wijnaldum or a Henderson. That side, he's not a defensive midfielder.
Exactly.
Take the ball and run and give it to the stars. That's what you should do.
Exactly.
But we don't have that in this team.
Exactly. And that's why I think I will still hold on to the Mount. I mean, if there's the option to sell him, or you can think about it. But to make the transition from what we are now, unless you want to replace the whole team at once, you shouldn't start with Mount.
No.
I'll tell you what, I would rather start with Havertz than Mount.
Yes, I agree.
Because if you start with Havertz, I think technically we are started with with Sterling.
Right.
Sterling and those players, Sterling, Havertz, and that. I think we're gonna start with that. And Mount did play under him for a couple of times in the midfield.
Yes.
One time he played well, one time he played shit. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's shit.
I think you're right. I just think it's just once we have like it's like, and it's not the same. It's totally different. But it's like when we had Ramirez playing for us.
Yeah,
Ramirez did little things here and there, but he got the ball and gave it. He gave it to the whoever Hazard, Mata.
Yeah, he wasn't
whatever.
looking to be a star
Exactly.
boy.
That's what Mount.
He's a brilliant squad player.
That's
He
what
was.
Mount should be. Mount should be that.
And I
kind.
think the Championship League, I don't think he wanted to be that, but Chelsea fan by making that banter
Up to the top, yeah.
up to the
Problem.
top, and
That's the
that's the problem.
He's being done over by his own fans.
Exactly,
Yeah.
by Johnny.
I
By
think that's
Johnny.
that's definitely a big aspect of it. But like, I think definitely, maybe it's like what you guys are kind of getting at too is the amount of pressure being put on him. He's now the face of the club and all this. Gareth Southgate starts him. Every single manager has praised him. Every single pundit has talked highly of him. I think the only thing that I kind of hesitate with and believing what Alex is saying is that we talked about this yesterday, me and you, Scott, is that it's no coincidence that every game this season so far where he hasn't started, our levels have improved and we've won without him in the team. He's not a pivotal part of this team. So it's like I want him to be approached in the sense that what Alex said, keep him on the bench, bring him on. If he plays bad, put him on the bench again, bring him on. I think as a substitute, he'd be absolutely fantastic. I think he's the injection of energy that you would need in a team where you're trying to get a result. You're trying to inject energy into a game where it's like a drawn out game. You need something to happen. I could see Mason Mount being that kind of player. Stop starting him. Stop making him the focus of your team. It's not working out. It hasn't worked out for Potter. Hasn't worked out for Tuchel, and it hasn't really worked out for Lampard. So that's just my 2 cents in the whole Mason situation. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to that.
Nope.
Doesn't sound like it.
Good.
Nope. The ship
Right.
is still the shit. In the chat.
All right. I think we got one more time for one more thing to talk about, and then we'll call it a night here. But let's talk about Thuram. All the rumors regarding Thuram that I know of so far. You guys can 100% inform me if I'm missing anything. But anyways, Simon Phillips, sources tell me that we are in advanced talks for None Mudryk. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry if I butchered it. Alongside with Marcus Thuram. Not sure if both or one of None or Thuram will make it, assuming this puts Mikhailo Mudryk way in the back now. And then right here we have another one from Simon Phillips. Marcus Thuram has become high on the list of options. Chelsea have reached out to his agent and club with an initial inquiry. Chelsea like his physicality and frame. They believe he would be a good fit for the Premier League. Brighton were keen on him last year.
I think his last the World Cup, I think he was really good. Actually, he caught my eye. I don't know how he played in the league, but the next couple of games when he came, the only reason when he's a striker, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a winger.
Originally a
Kind of
winger.
like
He's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Attacking.
yeah. I think
Werner.
he's the reason. He's the reason they actually got back into the game for the past couple of games because of free Mbappe on the left. Because by covering him, Mbappe had more space. Because he's the one that fighting with the defense, with the how you said, he was the physical presence on our side. I think, hey, if this is what, like, look, if he's cheap, I will take him.
If he's cheap, but I don't know, because I've heard people say that something came up and now he's not going to come. I don't know what factor.
You can't be
Ju-
more
was-
than 50.
It's not because he wants.
He's not going to be more than 15, 1-5.
No,
Oh.
he wants that signing on bonus fee, man. And apparently, according to Petty Gold, that's the Sky Germany guy who knows all the stuff about Germany. He's saying that Thuram doesn't want to leave. So
Where is he playing?
he plays so
Gladbach.
much in Gladbach.
He's still
Ah,
Mönchengladbach? Okay.
And the thing with him is, I said that he's a black Timo Werner, bro, because when you watch him play for Mönchengladbach, bro, you will understand what I mean by that. Like,
Okay, I haven't watched him before.
man, he is very much PMP. He is the definition of PMP.
I like
Yeah, but we don't
PMP.
have that. We haven't had that for years. We haven't had that for
Yeah,
I
ages.
am PMP. PIMP.
But he's like, it's just PMP, no tech, just PMP, and
He has tech. He does have tech. Like, that's the thing, and that's why I wanted him. Is he's actually got pace and power with some level of tech, which we haven't had for ages. We've just had roadrunners. Like, we just had
I
roadrunners.
think actually Fofana is a PMP based on how I watched him at the.
Yeah.
Fafan definitely is,
Yeah, but-
Look, if it was me, I'll start Fofana, Kai Havertz, and Felix tomorrow. If it was me.
Yeah.
We'll see what's gonna happen, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I mean,
I know I will see what's happened, but can the brother wish or dream? No.
I mean,
I can't lie. No, if I don't know who's playing on the left or who's playing on the right, but for the number 10 and the striker, I'm playing Felix and Fofana tomorrow.
are we home tomorrow?
That's what I'm saying.
we are waiting.
Felix and Fofana. By the way, I think it will be whoever starts. I don't think Potter does anything. He just give them freedom up top and will make them decide. That's why I think problem Felix, what's his name, Mason Mount. The problem with Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, they're like Chuckle Brothers. You can start them together.
But they hold hands on the football pitch.
Yeah, they hold hands.
Like in a
It's
three-legged
ridiculous.
race.
It's ridiculous how they occupy the same freaking space.
I know, bro. It's like two schoolgirls who can't bear to be apart from each other.
I'm telling you, man. If
Like,
you
bro,
watch one
you'll see them
heat
at
map,
school- it's like, you'll see them at school tomorrow. Calm down. Like you can literally you can occupy different spaces. It's all good. He's not going to disappear. Like if you don't go, like if you'll step away from him for a couple moments, he's not going to disappear from you.
you know
I
those
think-
players. You know those players. Sometimes, for example, like when you go and they like are stuck in front of the defender, and they don't know what to do. But the other player decides, I'll help you up. I'll come closer to you. Sometimes you don't need to come closer to him. Let them go back and reshuffle. No, those two are come to help each other all the time. If Mount has a ball and he has nowhere to go, Kai Havertz gets to him closer to him. And that's why they both end up in the same spaces because Mount at the end, Kai Havertz will come in and try to help him. The fact is, Mount still will not pass it to him. He will pass it back. And all of a sudden, when you have space with midfielder to create something, those two Chuckle brothers are right beside each other. Because one tried to help another one get out of the situation when he shouldn't. Kai Havertz needs to learn one thing up front. Sometimes you need to hold the zone. It's not about helping your white brother hold the dick. Let him go back. And hold the position in the middle. By Kai Havertz sometimes coming and help Mount, it doesn't help because Mount will not pass him. Mount will go back, and those Chuckle brothers will end up holding the same space. And all of a sudden, the other brother is way on the other side, and the defender's like, oh, the only player he can pass it to, it's this two. He ain't going all the way across. Who's going to cross it all the way across the field? Jorginho? He'll break his leg.
I would say Ziyech can do it, but yeah, like
What if the Chuckle brothers is on the left side? Is Ziyech gonna be on the left side?
no, I guess
Certainly.
not.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
It's just
think-
hopeless, man.
I think for tomorrow's game, I think just throw Joao Felix into the game.
Yep.
Honestly, and I would
You
start
reckon?
Fofana. I would start
Yeah.
Fofana. There's no
And
way he's playing
another
Aubameyang.
thing, what's that kid's name? The other kid that played
Chucky?
Chukwuemeka. I think he needs to stop putting him in the top 3 too. I think he's actually 10 more than he's actually. What's his name? He needs to stop putting him on the wing.
Mhm.
I don't think he's. I don't think he likes there. I
Yeah.
don't think he likes there.
But he's
I
been
think
been
he's
able to
actually
play.
8. I think
Yeah.
he's actually 8.
By the way,
he is as well. I think
I'm
the
watching
problem
this.
we've got, though, yeah.
I'm watching this. I don't usually do this. I'm watching a compilation of Thuram. The only similarities to Werner is that he runs fast. To me, he looks like a better finisher and he's got more skill. But then again, we are talking about in the Bundesliga. We don't know how it would translate over here.
But
Yeah,
I
we
watched.
have
I
history.
don't know who. I didn't know who he is. I watched him for France national team, and I think he was
And
good.
that's what I mean. I would say this.
He caught my eye. That's all
I
I'm
think
saying.
this will happen. If we want him, I don't think we're going to buy him. I think we're just going to sign him on a free transfer. After it'll be like because he can sign a pre-contract with a foreign club. So I think we'll do that because it's obviously he wants a signing on bonus, or else he'll be wiggling to try and get a move right now, and he doesn't need to. But I agree with you. I'd play Fofana tomorrow because there's no way the Fulham guys have been
Actually,
scouting
if-
Fofana. There's no way
yeah.
they've been scouting Fofana. I'd play him tomorrow.
I actually forgot
it?
about what's his name. I actually forgot about if Aubameyang is not a broken relationship with. I will actually consider Felix to play right beside Aubameyang.
Yeah, or a striker. Yeah,
I was going to say, depending on what you want to do, I'd consider playing Aubameyang off the left.
Yeah, and that Chaco
Yeah.
brothers, Felix and half Chaco brothers and
I
Kai
was gonna
Havertz
say,
to play the other
The,
3.
whoever plays on the right is a mystery, and it's going to be shit no matter who you play, like in one way or another. But like the rest of Felix at the
No.
10 for Fana as the striker and Aubameyang on the left. Hey, I'm kind of down for that.
Yeah, forget James is not on the right, so
I was going to say, bro, whoever we play on the right, play Hutchinson for Fana. Who cares?
Probably gonna be Ziyech if we got to be honest.
He will be. He's probably going to suck again. Who really cares?
is it?
Oh no, please.
With Aspie or Chalaba at the right
It's
back,
like
I
you,
don't
you
see
can't
that
get rid of
happening.
gonorrhea, can you?
I swear, if I see Chalaba play right back, I'm going to
Oh
kill myself.
my god. Jeez.
Listen,
It's
right,
not
man.
because
We
I
learned our
don't rate
lesson the
him. I
hard way
just
there.
because I just don't think he wants to be there, and I hate start players that don't want to be there. That's the only reason. It's not about his football. It's not about that. He doesn't want to be at Chelsea. I don't want him there.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he occupying the space? I will literally give him Hutchinson run on. At least he will have
Fair.
6 months. What's the name?
I can predict a ZH game right now.
True.
Get the ball, cut on the left, see
cross
who's up
field
top.
ball,
and,
maybe hits the target and one cross that's decent. That's his game. That's the entire game of ZH.
Flipping this
He's
part
looking
just so
for
I
the
can
far
verbatim
post
see
more
if
than-
it happens.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You would
If he-
think that that's the player that we need. We do
He
need
should.
that kind of player, but we need more the attributes than just that.
He would be great at golf. ZH, you know what I mean? He'd be great.
He's got a
Soccer
great
golf.
instinct.
Soccer golf.
Yeah. That's what I mean, man. You know.
So I mean, on all that too, how are we feeling about the game? Can we get a win? I know Ahmed, you think we're gonna lose. I think we can muster a 1-0 win. Andrew, I think you said 1-0 before too. Alex,
Give me a
Scott,
close
Chris.
game.
I
1-0
reckon,
last.
I reckon we
right now.
probably.
For what I know, we can start
You know what? We're gonna lose.
Chaco
Come on,
Brothers
Justin.
and the Blonde Mount. Can you imagine
So
Chaco
we can get a
Brothers
win.
and Brown?
Like this game, as with most Chelsea games right now, just means so little to me. Like I don't really care either way because I'm just like
I do. This is league game. I don't care. I don't want to lose the league games, and I'm gonna go after the players.
that's the
I'm
thing.
gonna
Like I
go
don't.
after Potter at the end of the game. I don't give, especially if the lineup is not the one I like. Fuck him.
Yeah, like that's the
It's a
thing.
league
Like
game.
I don't want us to lose because I don't want Chelsea to lose. But at the same time, it's like if
Yeah.
we lose, I ain't gonna let it affect me. I ain't gonna care. because it's like I've got better things to worry about.
It will affect my kids. It will affect my wife. It will affect some people around me. I'm trying-
Good Lord. Oh, God.
I'm getting chainsaw and I'm going in the woods and start cutting some trees like I did today when I get pissed off.
Jesus.
I wish I met
And,
Scott when he was happier. He just
sorry,
seems so
stocked up
sad
for
with
next
the
week
Chelsea.
already.
right
No,
now.
it ain't even like it's not even like a depression thing.
Like, do you
Because I get that a
smile
lot in
anymore?
streams. Right? I do get that a lot in streams, and it ain't even the depression thing. I just don't have the energy or the care to like let it affect me. Like I want Chelsea to do well.
Fair.
If we don't do
You're
well,
better
who
man.
cares?
Something like that.
Like, it's just
You're
who
a better
cares?
man.
Yeah, man. You should ask Marshall. I came down to his little thing every time just to laugh at him when we release it 2-0, 3-0.
A little thingy. What's the little thingy?
His little Discord and the little Discord stream that he does.
Oh, the Discord. Yeah, Discord.
that's cool for
Yeah,
fun.
Discord's the only reason I'm not missing.
Discord,
Actually, even
if you want to
sometimes.
fight, come to Discord, man.
Yeah, talk to Chris. Tell him how
no.
Aspie shit, and he's not
Is
a
that
legend.
how you fight? By texting?
No, not text.
No, it's voice chat. It's just like this, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
can
just like
stand
this.
Discord. I have it because my TV providers decided to move from Telegram to Discord. And
What?
it's annoying as fuck.
What?
What? Yo, what?
I
Yo,
have
what
never
did
heard
you
that.
mean by
That is bizarre.
That's
Dude, I'm
interesting-
Russian. We do shit.
Yeah, okay. Okay, boss man.
Enough. You know what? Say no more. Say less. I understand. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and call it here. Brilliant stream. Thank you, Andrew, Alex, Real Chris, Ahmed, and Scott for coming in. Guys, we'll be here tomorrow, an hour after the game, to react to the Fulham match. Hopefully it's a victory. If you haven't already done so, smash the like button. It helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Check out the links down below in the description. Link to the Discord is also on there if you want to join us and watch the games with us. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about everything we talked about today. And we'll see you tomorrow after the Fulham game. Guys, stay casual. Peace.